Evening. This is Mihkel from Estonia, and I am going to present to you the technology that has come here to stay, the technology that is so powerful and so developed that it's impossible to hold it back from further developments and basically, well, how to say this? This technology seen before about its qualities and there are so many great sides of this SkyWay that will change the world. But all of this I will tell you in the presentation today. So I myself have been a SkyWay investor and well, promoter for more than 3 years by now, and this has been a great path together with SkyWay and together with my team and together with all the members and investors and well, the board members and investors all around the world, because well, the support that people are giving to this project that is so huge and the work that is going on behind the curtains that is so enormous that we're all waiting to see when will the first commercial projects will start, and then when the first profits will come to the company, also the investors will receive the dividends, long-awaited dividends. But of course, we have to understand that even with Apple or Alibaba, it took years and years before it got so developed that it went to, for example, on a stock market, and people got the chance, the first investors got the chance to sell or buy even more stocks. So let's continue. I will show you a brief pictures about what has been done in United Arab Emirates in Sharjah. And this is the innovation center there, and as you can see, the first line is already built. This is 400-meter line. There will be 3 more lines which are 2.5 kilometers long, and you can see one of them behind the first line, which is in front of the picture, but behind the picture you can see the supports already placed, and that one is for the heavy loads, for cargo and for transporting more than 100 people at a time. Structures and supports as well. But more picture from a different angle. As you can see, it's very beautiful, and of course it's very hard to construct and to build it into the sand, and that makes it much more expensive than in Belarus, where is the innovation center and demonstration center. Basically that one, well, I have been myself in both of these test parks, and the first one in Belarus near Marina Korka, that there are already 7 lines constructed and built, and there are many different models driving all day on many routes them and to certify, and of course many models are already certified as well by Belarus and Russian standards. And now in United Arab Emirates in Sharjah, the development and the certification process is under development at the moment. So soon, when it will be totally fully certified, then all the tropical climate countries have the chance to order this and then to implement this in their countries, which is awesome. And of course, this picture describes the first ever wooden house that has been built in United Arab Emirates. So you heard me right. No company or nobody has ever built a wooden house there, at least officially. But this is approved by the government and shows how great relationships SkyWay and its author and general engineer Dr. Anatoly Unitsky has. And one more picture from another angle, and this is really awesome. So basically this house is meant to do everything by itself. The electricity, water, heat or cool, all those technologies should maintain by itself autonomously. And this is also one product. And this is the tropical Unicar in Saja driving there, so you can see how beautiful it is. And of course there are already many government members who are well, waiting for this technology to start serving people, and as well taking cargo and goods from one point to another. And talking about cargo, here you can see on this picture, this is the sea container transportation system. This is the smaller container which this line is capable to carry. And when the another 2.5 kilometer line is built, then there will be the big 40 foot long, sea containers. But all right, let's continue now with a main presentation. First, we go look at the brief history, and I will show you some of the technologies that are already made by people, by human, and I will tell you a bit about all of them. But first of all, about 80 to 100 years ago, a visionary and artist pictured a future, as you can see on this picture, and he is quite right, because as you might, well, if you have been traveling around the world, or you have seen pictures, or you have seen videos, I recommend you to do so. Then in most of the bigger cities, they are very well already constructed and built and maintained the first level infrastructure. There are buses, there are trams, there are cars, taxis. Now the self-driving mobiles, I mean cars or buses are coming, also scooters, bike roads, and so on. Also, most of the bigger cities have the underground transportation systems, such as metros or subways. But the problems on the still grow, and mainly because the urbanization is very active at the moment. People are coming from well, villages, and then from outer city, they're coming to live inside the city, where is the work mostly, or the suburban areas also develop very fastly. So the growth is enormous, but the problem is that, well, more deeper we go inside the city centers, then there is basically no room or no space left to construct new roads, and then we just cannot tear down the houses next to the roads and say that, okay, now we take down your apartment story, and we will construct a new road there. It's just impossible. So that's the reason why we need new solutions, and the only logical way where to go is up on the second level. And people have tried it before and successfully tried it as well, but there are many problems with current technologies. Mostly they are very expensive, they are very heavy, their construction looks so massive, it's basically impossible to construct it very smoothly, or so that people will say, oh, it's so beautiful. But mostly they say it's quite ugly, but what can we do? And then, of course, they're not that fast as they should, and many of them use still fossil fuels. But this one on the picture, this is the monorail. For example, in United Arab Emirates, about 10 years ago, they built a 5-kilometer road for monorail, and 1 kilometer cost approximately 70 million US dollars, and that was about 10 years ago. The prices have gone up, of course, as you might understand. Inflation and so on works its way. And then in Germany, this technology is presented. Also, about 20 years ago, they already managed to construct it. But as you can see, the supports behind the model there the supports which hold the track structure above, they have to be located very well closely to each other. So it means about in every 15-20 meters there have to be a support. Again, it's quite impossible to construct it everywhere, and it doesn't look very nice as well. Then in China there is a technology which is basically tramway but upside down, and yes, that's about it. And then of course the first glimpse of it, or the first test tracks are found that were done in about 1,000 years ago, but then they used ropes and stones and wood. Now it's of course metal, and then it's a little bit more developed, but the main point here on both all of these slides is that the engine, or well, basically the model, the capsule, or the well, the machine itself where people sit, those do not move themselves, but the chain or the rope, that one moves. And as you can see on the right side picture, the orange wheel-shaped engine that turns around, and then it pulls the chain, the string, and then the capsules or the models, but the models themselves do not move on the track structure. Then of course we have the underground transportation, as I mentioned before. Well, in Russia, for example, the subways look very beautiful, but of course it's very expensive to construct it. For example, on the 2nd Avenue in New York, they recently built a new track for subway, which means that well, what I want to say is that the 1 kilometer cost more than 1 billion with a B, billion US dollars. So it's very expensive to do those. But all right, now welcome you to the new age, to the 21st century. This is SkyWay, what you can see on this picture right now. As you can understand, it's very beautiful. It suits awesomely together with climate there. Not only with the temperature and climate, I mean, but surroundings as well. And let's see, why SkyWay? Why is it here to stay? I will point out 7 main points, what I have found. Then SkyWay looks very beautiful, and this design is made especially for United Arab Emirates, and I have seen it myself as well. And hopefully, well, if there is any chance any one of you goes to United Arab Emirates, Sharjah, then, well, if you go there, I recommend you to go to Sharjah and see all of this beautiful technology by yourself as well. And then this picture is made in Belarus, in Ecotechnopark, which is the first innovation and certification center in the world for SkyWay technology. And here you can see this track structure is the heavy one, and basically, if you compare it with trams or railways, then the train or the tram can only go one way at a time. But here with SkyWay, if we lift the track structure to the 2nd level, we can use both sides, the upper side and the down side as well. So we can go the 2 directions at the same time, which makes it more time effort and many other, well, the speed and all those aspects. Then the technology which makes it innovative and which is patented by Dr. Anatoly Unitsky and SkyWay is the pre-stressed string railway. Basically, the rail structure itself, the metal rails, inside there are pre-stressed strings, and it's filled again with a special filler, and we can take all different kind of cables, communication cables, electricity, internet, and so on through the structure itself. So basically in Africa, for example, where there are many villages where they do not still have electricity, we can take electricity to them via the track structure itself. So this is also great. And of course, we can use solar panels, wind turbines, which are also under development, and then it's most likely that they will implement this to the track structures. So all the electricity which is necessary for the SkyWay model to move, that electricity can be produced by the track itself. Now, the second point is that SkyWay is ecological, and as the picture says, more than 1,000 words is saying, I believe we can all witness right now on this picture that it suits very well to the nature as well, because it's so sharp, it's so neat, it's a slim track structure, it's not a heavy, massive construction like the previous one I showed you before, and that makes it special as well. Of course, ecological, when we're talking about, we cannot left out mentioning that producing CO2 is a old world now, and the new world is moving more and more toward CO-free technologies and products, and therefore this is what you can see on the picture. This has to be left behind, and then the new one, electricity, well, the engines, or yes, so the engines which the inner burning engines which use fuel, for example, about I believe in 10 years, 20 years, it's not, they won't produce them anymore. So this is also one way where the world is going. Then another aspect is about the wind turbulence, and SkyWay has the shape of the body so perfectly designed that it's capable to cut the wind very well, much better than, for example, cars, and therefore the wind turbulence, the wind, and the other aspect is the screen effect. So basically, when the SkyWay cuts or the car cuts the wind, then where the car is, that there is a asphalt beneath the car, and then the wind can, well, the asphalt or the road makes impact to the wind and makes it the higher. But with SkyWay, there are rails above the ground, and the wind can go very well beneath the models, and therefore the coefficient is much lower. All right. Of course, there are many first level issues that are very costly to maintain, and all this is not necessary with the SkyWay technology. All right, now I will put up the second side of the presentation, and we'll continue. With these pictures, I want to say more than one word. I would like to describe this because these are very important to understand. On the left side, so basically when we construct new railways, or well, mostly whatever, even the roads, and the normal roads for cars, so that are meant for cars, then we need to dig about 7 meters beneath the ground and fill it with special fillers so the road can hold and maintain its well, shape on the ground. And therefore it's when we think about building, for example, 500 kilometers new railways, then we have to dig some well, the material for filling 7 meters all through all the road. And on the right side, so in mountain areas, they have to explode the roads again, through the mountains, through the rocks. But with SkyWay, we can take it from point A to point B very smoothly. One support can be longer or tall, yes, longer than the other one, and then therefore we can play with the heights, different heights, and then different different shapes of the ground. Also, the water is not a problem for us. We can go over the rivers, lakes, even seas and oceans, and that makes also SkyWay very flexible, as you can see on this picture as well. All right, third point. Third point is about safety. And many people have asked me, so is it safe to drive there up high? And then what if something happens? And I ask, what should happen when if I don't know, if it stops there, or maybe it falls apart? No, it's impossible for it to fall apart, because the construction that holds it there is so strong that even if we lift or switch sides, we put it up down, the models, the unibuses or unibikes, then it still holds it very strongly. So there is no way that it will fall off from the line or from the track structure. And it's mostly because of this derailment system and this motor wheel that drives it. Then we have all this super intelligence, artificial intelligence systems. The third eye, basically, which monitors 360 degrees around unibuses, unibikes, unicars, inside as well. So even if we need to cross the borders, then there can be the passport controls and so on can be done automatically, which is very smoothly and makes it much safer. And if something really happens on the line, so basically one model just stops there, then there are another similar or exactly the same model, and they both have these elements in front of the models and in the back side, and so they will, well, percent, and they can either pull or push the broken one to the maintenance or to the nearest stop. And all right, and if even this doesn't work and we still have this problem, there are no other unibuses that can come and pull or lift us, then we have is like helicopters have a special ropes or the rope system, which we pull around the waist and then around the shoulders, and that can take us to the ground. So they have thought about everything, and it's much safer than on this picture, right? What you can see now. And this is the normal way today, how people drive in tropical climates. Then the fourth point is that we have real models and products. As I mentioned before, many of them are certified already. And well, this is really important, that we're not showing people pictures from the brochures but we really have these products. And I myself have driven with Unibus, for example, on this picture above and right side. Then with Unibike as well, I've got the chance to ride and then sit inside. And I've seen Univind driving in Belarus in Innovation Center, Unicar as well. I had chance to drive about 50 meters above the ground. And I've seen high-speed unibus myself driving on a 1 kilometer track structure. So this is all really, really great. And the speeds are enormous. So if you compare it with the normal transportation system well, how about the safety as well? The speed is great, and it's not well, it doesn't make it more dangerous, because we are located on the second level and there are no well, traffic accidents there. We cannot well, break into another car or drive into another vehicle or people who are on the first level, because we are above them, and it's just impossible, and therefore there are basically no traffic accidents with SkyWay, which makes it also safety. And then here you can see, yes, the tropical, which you have already seen. And then the cargo transportation system, this is really great, and this is what world waits, and this will be revolutionary, because at the moment, for example, the speeds for transporting, well, with the truck drivers and the trucks which take sea containers from point A to point B, the average speed is about 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. Well, and with SkyWay we can take it up to 70 to 100 kilometers per hour, and we can drive so beneath the track structure, and this is really great. All right, the fifth point is that we have it for SkyWay everywhere. So we started from Belarus, we have made our way to United Arab Emirates. We know that the certification process started in Europe as well in the end of the last year. And many countries, for example, like Vietnam, Russia, and countries as well as Europe, and then the east side of the world, they all are very interested in SkyWay technology. And well, there is only time between us, between the point where we really have the track world being built. The sixth point is that we have a strong and professional team. We have more than 600 workers today, working constantly every day for SkyWay to make the dream impossible. And then we have many departments and design bureaus, and we have our own manufacturing. We have many other facilities around the world, well, mostly in Belarus and United Arab Emirates. But the work is going on globally. Point is financial sides, two main sides. One is the customer who will order the transportation system to being built, and then, for example, governments or private companies. And why they should do that is the cost of SkyWay is very, very cheap comparing to, for example, monorail or maglev or Hyperloop, and even with the subways, of course. And therefore, I believe there is no chance that SkyWay is not being will be left out the world, so to say, at the second level, and because there is no other technologies as well that are better than SkyWay, and that second level. So therefore, it's a really great chance. But all right, now we have come almost in the end. We have some news to cover as well. And the first news is that some months ago already the address project, one address project was announced in United Arab Emirates, and that should be located in a city called Korfakan, and it's about 10 kilometers long and meant for people. And that is really great news. And as Anatoly Nitsky himself also said, that probably this year one contract will be fully signed for a commercial project, and there are many more waiting. But of course, we have to still remember and understand that the technology is still under development, and there is still a lot of work to do. But much work has been done. All right, and then again, about a month ago, we were on a French television, and they covered the news about the demonstration of this second level container transport. This is really great. Well, I believe if I'm not wrong, then in each month we are in some televisions or on news channels covered in some television or news channels. So SkyWay is quite popular, but most people do not know it's possible to invest in the project as a private investor and benefit later on from all the projects which are going to be built in the world and which will make profit to the company. Then, as you might know, the expo in Dubai, which is a really big event, global event, was prolonged or skipped for 1 year, and this will take part this year. And it takes place from 1st October this year up to 31 March next year. And the authors of the material of SkyWay note that the Technology Testing and Certification Center of UST, Unitsky String Technology, is located near Dubai in Sharjah, so prospective customers will be able to combine the exhibition program with a trip to Sharjah to see the implementation of the string transport in practice. And then it's really, really great news. So, and Nadezhda Gozerova, who is the CEO of Unitsky String Technologies, also commented on the prospects for participation in the upcoming exhibition, and she said that they are actively exploring the MENA region, where there is high demand for our innovative technology, and participating in such a large international exhibition and having their own operating transport complex in the United Arab Emirates, where they can showcase their achievements, will undoubtedly strengthen their global success. And again, their global success is our global success as well. Then another big news was covered on the national news channel, and this was covered on 6th of June on the site of the English language newspaper The National, published in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. And the headline was "First Look at Sharjah's High-Speed Electric Elevated Transport." And the publication is based on the recent visit by journalists to the UST Testing and Certification Center in Sharjah. And the authors of the project and plans for the development in the United Arab Emirates. In particular, the journalist mentioned that the 2.5 kilometer heavy test track would be fully ready in October that year to show the string transport at the speed of 140 kilometers per hour. As a reminder, the Expo 2020 International Exhibition in Dubai, where SkyWay is scheduled to take part, begins in October as well. And the representative of the UST Center in Sharjah has also told the reporters that the construction of the track of the first SkyWay targeted project, which will be launched by September 2023, is to begin very soon. So congratulations to all of us. And which track exactly is being talked about is not mentioned in the article. It could be referring to the 130 kilometer freight track between Sharjah and Korfakan, the design for which has been under consideration by the Sharjah administration for the past few months. And besides, in the material, there was shown a video of the tropical Unigas ride with passengers, and they remind that they had previously reported UST's commencing operation of the 400-meter test section to check its performance under near real-world conditions. So this is a really, really great news for us, guys. All right, and now a conclusion of the news development. And from 7th to 8th June, the English language edition of Gulf News, Cali Times, and Time Out released publications about the current achievements of Unitsky String Technologies in Sharjah and the company's development plans in United Arab Emirates, and they are sharing the highlights from these materials. I will comment again, the journalists point out that now in Sharjah there is a 400-meter operating test line on which the passenger transport is already running at the speed of 50 kilometers per hour. 2.4 kilometer tracks are also under construction According to a representative of the USD Center in Sasha, the first of these tracks will be ready by the opening of the expo in October this year, and the second one by May 2022. Hussein Al-Mahmoudi, CEO of SRT Park, which is the innovation center there, also shared, the owner of the innovation center, so basically, also shared his views on the prospects for string transport implementation. And he said, "We are considering Korfakan and we are also working on operation in the city center. We hope to commercialize the technology and make it one of the most successful in the region." So again, only great news from United Arab Emirates. But with this great news, I will end our, that you see right now, that the Dalai Lama gave his years ago to Unitsky, and he said that, by Anatoly Unitsky words, Dalai Lama said that it will not be very easy for you, this mission that you have chosen, but eventually you will be successful. So great words from his Holy Spirit as well. But all right, with me, it's chance to meet again in about 2 years. Sorry, 2 years, 2 weeks, and 6th of July, the same time, 7 p.m. Moscow time. So check your local time and compare it, and you will see what time it is in your country. So 6th of July, we will talk again about the technology and tell you about the latest news. And hopefully, we will all get the chance to go to United Arab Emirates during the expo to see the technology with our own eyes. Let's hope that SkyWay team will arrange this event for us, and we can all go there together to meet face to face and talk and share the emotions. So, all right, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you very much for your attention. And I am Mihkel from Estonia, and I'm very glad to be here and to tell you all this great news. So, goodbye, everybody, and see you and talk to you already in 2 weeks. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.